Welcome back to the session on Karma Yoga, the secret of action. So far we have understood that Karma Yoga is to convert every action into a yoga. Well, how is that possible? Can we convert even talking as a yoga, eating as a yoga, and doing all activities as a yoga? Yes, says Karma Yoga. If you have the right attitude, if you have the proper motivation, and you know the how of action, every action can become a yoga. And that is what we are trying to understand here. Invariably, we are all slaves to our three gunas, tamas, rajas and sattva. Tamas predominant, we want to escape action. There is tremendous resistance to action, and if you do the work, it is all haphazard, confused, delusion. While in rajas, it is all dynamic, wonderful activity, well planned, well executed action, but it is all self-centered. Everything for me, nothing for others. I do not care what happens to others, exploit others, beat others, terrorize others, and even murder if necessary, and become a big millionaire and a billionaire and get all the name and fame. That is the rajasic thing. Well, in sattva, it is the reverse of rajas, that everything for others, even if I do not have, I would love to give for others, and that is the sattva. From selfishness to selflessness, that is the move. So, this is the whole process of growth in the way of your working. We are all permutations and combinations of these three gunas, and we all do our actions according to these one or more of these gunas. So, Karma Yoga says, please start transforming yourself from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva, and that is the first phase of growth in Karma Yoga. From there, even while doing good others, even while performing actions which are very sattvic, you may end up with conflicts, and that is the region of conflicts that we are in now. So, the conflict could be from one ethics versus another ethics. Conflict could be between one duty and another duty, duty versus ethics. Why ethics at all? Why duty at all? What is the meaning of life? Several could be the cutting, very subtle conflicts in our lives. We saw satya versus satya, truth versus another truth, truth versus non-violence, or duty versus duty, duty versus ethics, as it happened in the Hiroshima bomber pilot. Why ethics at all? Questioning the very commandments of either Christ or for Manu or Patanjali, everything to be questioned. Question the very basis of duty. Why impose discipline in the name of duty, and what is the meaning of life? These are the varieties and varieties of conflict which can torture us, and Krishna says, now to overcome these conflicts, we have to know the secret of action, the very subtle secrets, and he gives 4 secrets. And the first secret, karmano hyapi bodhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi, says. Karmanaha api bodhavyam, understand what is karma. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, you must understand what is wrong action or what is the specialized action. Karma is good action, vikarma normally interpreted as bad action, tamasic and rajasic action are vikarmas, sattvic action is karma, but some people would prefer to understand vikarma as vishesha karma, not vikruta karma, and even in that case it is karma and vishesha karma. Karma, the good action and specially good actions. That alone will not do. He says that you must understand the third dimension akarma, the non-action, and karmanaha gatihi gahana. The path of work is very, very intricate, very, very subtle. So, what is the secret? It is not enough if you understand what is good action, what is bad action or special action, but we must understand at the base of that there is the non-action akarma. It is from this non-action the karma and the vikarma arise, the whole region of karma on one side, and at the base of that is the non-action. Now, we are watching the video, and at the back of that is the stationary screen which is unchanging, our TV screen or the monitor screen, on which the slides come and go, the slides come and go. And Krishna is telling us that we must first recognize that silence, that non-action, that akarma, which is intimately knit into every aspect of our life. Says that is secret number one. There was a very interesting set of questions that was posed in an IAS examination. The students were all asked to look at number of small squares that were given to them, and they said that you have to arrange that in a meaningful way, maybe to form a geographical nation. And people started working and working, and they were given only 3 minutes to arrange all the squares. That was question number 1. The second question, please show that 9 minus 1 is 10. Well, how can 9 minus 1 be 10? No. And we had very wonderful habit of Eknathji Ranade, the architect of the entire Vivekananda Kendra movement, in writing the letters. And now the students start looking at it, and none of them could put them together into either an India map or a geographical map whatsoever. But there was a brilliant guy. He said, there is some catch here that we see. He just opened the other side. He started seeing some lines with numbers, and he started arranging the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and put them all together, and he found a beautiful man in the form of a line sketch, and he reversed and he sees the beautiful India map that has emerged. So, I had to go to the back to get the secret of the present world. Then he started thinking, how can 9 minus 1 be 10? Not in the usual framework. Therefore, started thinking, okay, why not the Roman letters? That is, Ix is 9, and you remove that 1 from there, and you get x. He got it. So, when we do not get the answer in one framework, you have to go to another framework, a deeper framework, a subtler framework, and from there you have to look at it. This is the implication. Eknathji Ranade, the wonderful organizer, he used to have one habit. He said that whenever he used to write very important letters, he said, I am not going to post it the very same day. Next morning again he will look at the letter, and if he is satisfied he will post it. It happened that there was a very derogatory comment on the entire Vivekananda Kendra movement by one of the union ministers. So, Eknathji got very upset, very angry, all wrong facts. So, he wrote a very, very strong letter, and as per his habit he just kept it, slept over the night. Next morning he started looking at the thing, he started correcting, and he was not happy, he kept it again, and the third day and the fourth day it went on and on. The 18th draft, the 18th day, he looked at the letter, oh, now okay, now he posts it. The word of difference between the two letters, the first draft and the last The content was same, the material was same, but the way it was expressed all made a big difference. Had he posted the first letter, he would have made a big enemy of the Union Minister. The second letter was so appealing, it directly went and touched the heart of the minister. He realized his mistake. He was ignorant of the facts of the wonderful service the institution was doing. So immediately he phoned and apologized to Eknathji. Not only that, he apologized in public, gave a nice recommendation letter appreciating the wonderful work of Vivekananda Kendra in the paper, and later on he became such a very, very close friend of the entire Vivekananda Kendra movement. How did that happen? So when he used to sleep over the letter, his mind would become calm, and when he goes into that silence again and again, he knows what is the purpose of writing the letter. It is not just to show your anger, but you have to make a friend of even an enemy. We have to educate him and see that he comes onto our lines, because we are pure, we are selfless, we have no axe to grind, and we have a great mission to accomplish. And that was the confidence with which he was progressing. Therefore, what is the implication of this secret one? Whenever our mind is disturbed, whenever we are in a turmoil, whenever we are in a conflict, please do not take a decision. Allow the mind to calm down, allow the turmoil to reduce, allow the turbulence to settle down, and often it needs enough time. Go to a cooler place, have discussion with people who are very knowledgeable, and allow your mind to take an objective perspective, and that is attuning to the non-action. And that is why we will be able to resolve the conflicts between Satya and Satya, or Satya versus Ahimsa, when we are able to go back and see the realities objectively. Let us look at that conflict. The lawyer one extolling and trying to prove that his client is totally innocent, and he is the one who has to be completely excused. Whereas on the prosecution side, the lawyers were so brilliant, they had all the evidences to show that this man is the murderer. And now what did the judge do? The judge will go back to the book of jurisprudence, comes out of the two arguments, and looks very objectively under the framework of the law, and then he will pronounce his judgment whether he is a murderer or whether he is not a murderer. It is that objectivity, it is coming out of the turmoil, it is coming out of the conflicting situation that is crucial to the unraveling of the mystery or the secret. That is the understanding that Krishna gives. Oh Arjuna, now we are in a great turmoil, and you should not take a decision here. And what is to be done? You go over to the akarma. The akarma is intimately knit into our lives. Almost 50% of our time in our lives we spend in akarma, but still we care not for it. All the time we are in the region of action, we give the maximum emphasis for karma and action, and we think action is the thing. But when you look at the whole life, how much of time we would have slept? 50%, in which we were not acting. We are in the phase of non-action, the akarma, but still we do not know it, or we do not care for it. Every action is followed by a non-action or a relaxation. Take for example the heart goes into a systole, compressing the blood into all parts of the body, then there is a diastole in which it relaxes. A systole compression and a diastole relaxation. Breathing in, expansion of the chest, breathing out is relaxation of the thoracic muscles. Action and relaxation are continuously knit with one another, but still we do not look at the relaxation, the non-action part of it, and all the time we are in the region of action. And Krishna is drawing our attention you should look at the non-action. Now, similarly, the conflict between the satya, the truthfulness, and the non-violence. The surgeon is in a fix. He says, what is to be done? If I tell the truth that you are suffering from cancer, he knows his client is going to smash and clash and collapse. On the other hand, if he tells an untruth, probably he will be able to save his patient. So, he looks at the patient, and depending on the type of patient, either he will tell an untruth, he will say that, my dear, you do not have to worry, you have some problem there in your stomach, and I will do a little surgery and remove that small lump, and everything will be all right, please do not worry. He will not say you do not have cancer, but he will hide that information from him, so that the person becomes all right. If on the other hand, if the patient is quite knowledgeable, if he can take the shock, he will explain what is cancer. He will say that the cancer cells are available in every one of our lives. They are weak cells in contrast to what normally we think is powerful killers from outside. Cancer cells are inadequately made cells. Every day in our body, a billion cells are created, a billion cells are destroyed. Out of the billion cells that are created, a few thousands may not be created exactly the way they have to be created. Therefore, they are weak cells. Normally, our immune system takes care of these cells and nothing happens to all of us, the majority of all of us. But when the immune system becomes selectively weak and does not take care of these cells, then slowly there is an increase in the number. Over months and years, slowly it becomes a sizable number, then it starts the malignancy. Therefore, he will explain the whole methodology. I am going to cut out the tumor, that big number of cells that have come up, and they will become all right. So, that is what is surgery. And I will give you the chemotherapy, I will give you the radiation therapy to see that they are burnt and they are chemically made inactive. All that explained, and the patient is able to take it. So, either of the two ways, he will tell the truth, but not jeopardizing the life of the patient. He will tell the untruth, again for the purpose of saving the patient. That is the key point. So, having said that, Krishna goes to the second, Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Yogastha kuru karmani. What is the second secret? Having understood that there is silence, having understood there is non-action, having understood there is deep relaxation coupled with action, then maintain that relaxation all through, maintaining that non-action all through, do all the activities attuned to self, do your action unattached, sangam tyaktva, having relinquished your attachment, unattached, karmani kuru, do your action. That is the attunement to the self, to that non-action, to that silence, to the deep wonderful bliss, do the activities. And at the time of the result, siddhi asiddhyaho, in success and failures, siddhi asiddhyoho, in success or in failures, samaha bhutva, maintaining the equanimity. That is the key to karma yoga. Yogaha samatvam iti uchyate. Yoga is verily the equanimity, says. So, this is secret number 2, is telling. So, in secret number 2, having recognized the region of non-action, all the time in that non-action, perform every activity, walking, talking, eating, jumping, dancing, you can do any activity what you like, but do that attuned to that inner silence. Do not forget the inner non-action, do not forget the silence, that is karmani akarmaya pashet. seeing non-action in every action that we do. That is a very special way of performing the action, and in doing the action there is continuous awareness, and that awareness is going to bring about the changes. Here is exercise of the freedom to a larger extent than what we did. Earlier we saw in Karma Yoga, it is action with freedom. When we start any activity, you have a freedom to choose. Either you can choose a good action or a bad action. Often people choose bad actions either because they are deluded, confused, or they may even choose a bad action to make money. For example, the psychedelic drugs, the alcohol, the tobacco and all that, and that can bring you a lot of profit. As a result, he will choose an industry of that type, but that choice is yours. But when we use the right choice, it becomes a Karma Yoga, good action. With all good intentions, you start the right action, but the result is not in our hands, because there is a region of unknown laws. These unknown laws will not give us the desired result. So, you may get a success or you may get a failure, you may get the result that you want or you may not get a result, but in both cases to maintain equanimity is Karma Yoga. Therefore, maintain equanimity at the time of result, maintain good actions while you start is the choice element we have to use. But now Krishna is telling one more step. He says that not only at the start, not only at the end, but also during the currency of the action, you have to exercise this freedom. How are you going to exercise this freedom? While doing your action, there should be continuous awareness, action in relaxation. There is continuous monitoring. A rocket is launched and the objective is to reach the moon. I remember in the first time when they launched, they had all the trajectories well fixed. Everything was going smoothly. They were hoping that the rocket is going to reach the moon, but somewhere in between there was a meteor which came and hit the rocket, and the rocket started descending and came collapsed, burnt. Then what did they do? Now they have to bring back the rocket back to the orbit. Small rockets were now housed in the main rocket, and there is continuous monitoring of the target every millisecond, and when the rocket is moving up towards the moon, every millisecond the target is checked. A meteor comes and hits, then there is a change in the trajectory. Immediately they fire the small rockets and bring it back to the original orbit, so that you accomplish your mission of reaching the moon. This is the secret number 2 that Krishna is giving. There should be a continuous monitoring, there should be proper correction, and this is often called in management scenario the statistical quality control, and that is the freedom to be used during the currency of action. While doing our action, all the time maintain that deep relaxation. The mind should be all the time attuned to that inner silence and do the activities, and that is the freedom of right choice in the beginning, freedom to maintain objectivity at the time of result, and freedom to maintain relaxation in action. Yogastaha kuru karmani. Perform every action attuned to that awareness, attuned to that self, and that is the secret, and that is the secret of action that he gives. And this is featured by that awareness, by that discrimination, by that freedom, that choice element. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. It is kaushalya in action. buddhiyuktaha. Buddhiyuktaha is fully saturated with that awareness, with that discrimination power, with that freedom element. Ubhe sukruta dushkrute jahati. He transcends both the good and the bad. And when he does this, he is in yoga. Thus all the actions become yoga then. And this is the kaushalya. This is the skill in action. So kaushalya is not efficiency in action. Kaushalya is not merely doing all the actions in great efficiency. Kaushalam is the action with right choice and action in relaxation and to maintain objectivity at the time of result. All three included is the kaushala, is the skill in action. That means, we choose the right action, the good action, continuously monitor that with full awareness. When you reach the result, maintain objectivity again. When all these things happen, then it becomes fully the yoga. And how is that possible? Let us take some simple examples. We all have seen the dancing girls with the pot on her head, and when she is having the pot, she is dancing to the tune of the music and to the rhythm of the drums. Every step is going exactly as it should be, but at the same time there is a continuous inner awareness that she should not lose the balance. She should maintain that center of gravity. Even when she bends, she is aware that the pot should not come down, and that is the wonderful dance that she does. In Bangalore, in Karnataka, in our country, there is a very special festival called Karaga, in which the person carries a big pot, a big thing on which there is a small idol, a tall thing almost 3 to 4 feet, decorated with beautiful flowers, put on his head, and the person will start from the temple, Dharmaraja temple, and start running, dancing all through. He starts in the middle of the night and goes almost 4 kilometers, running and dancing with all the joy, and comes back to the same temple. And he should maintain that full awareness. And lakhs of people gather together to watch this stupendous task. And what I used to wonder was that along with him there used to be 2 persons who would be carrying swords in their hands with a lemon fixed on their swords. And I used to wonder why these people carry. And much later, when I came to understand, one of the persons said that these 2 people also will be dancing and going with a person. If by chance something happened to that idol, that small god on the top of the pot that he has kept on the head, if it falls down, then he has no mercy whatsoever. The 2 persons should simply cut off his head. That is the punishment there. Therefore, the person prepares himself for several days with austerities to maintain that awareness all through, and now with that beautiful awareness he starts going. That is the beauty. And we have the example of the great master Mahatma Gandhi, a great karma yogi, and every day he used to work on the charaka, the spinning wheel. And one day in the morning when he was working on the charaka, Vinobaji, his right hand disciple, he had come to visit him, and he saw him continuously to see that Gandhiji is not disturbed. He stands there and goes on watching him, and Gandhi finds that the thread is coming continuously 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and after half an hour Gandhi stops his wheel and now slowly opens his eyes and looks at Vinoba. Hey, why are you waiting here? You could have talked to me. No, Bapuji, I won't disturb you. But please tell me one thing. I also work on the charaka. You also work on the charaka. But your charaka, your spinning wheel is a very old model, dilapidated model. But I have the latest model. I have got the best of the yarn. The cotton that I choose and pick and choose is of the high quality, where the cotton, whatever cotton comes to you, just take it. But there is a world of difference. When the thread comes out of your hand, it comes continuously without a break whatsoever. Whereas with me, it gets cut again and again and again and again, several times. Please tell me what is the secret? Then in a very, very humorous, at the same time in a very subtle way, Gandhiji says, please understand, when the thread gets cut, it is not the thread that gets cut, but it is the awareness that gets cut. Therefore, for me, when we operate on the spinning wheel, it is a sadhana, it is a yoga, it is a karma yoga. Action in awareness, action in relaxation. To maintain that awareness all through this 45 minutes of my spinning, it is a sadhana. And it is this awareness which I try to maintain throughout the day, that helps me to maintain the awareness and the relaxation, and that is the secret of karma yoga. Yogastaha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. And that is the secret that he is telling here. We have some master drivers driving the car with such ease, such effortlessness, which is so masterly. Whereas we have novice drivers who will be driving often with reckless speeds, and if by chance somebody crosses, they jam the brake, they get terribly angry, and they will start cursing the parents of the children or the person who crossed, and they had all the blames for them. And if they drive for 3 hours continuously, they are all tired and fatigued. But the master drivers drive with such ease, such comfort. If by chance somebody crosses, a small baby, and he will go with all the loving thing, he will stop the car and probably help the boy or the girl to cross the street and come back with that composure and continue his thing. He would have driven for 5 hours continuously, but he is not tired. He is now prepared to drive another 10 hours if necessary. And that is action in relaxation. Karma yoga is effortless ease in action. Yogastaha kuru karmani. With a smile on the face, with a relaxation, with a deep awareness in the mind, do all activities. Pashyan, shunvan, sprushan, jigran, ashnan, gachan, swapan, shwasan, pralapan, visrujan, grunhan, unmishan, nimishandapi, indriyan, indriyartheshu, vartanta iti dharayan. You may be seeing, you may be watching, you may be hearing, you may be talking, you may be walking, you may be excreting and urinating. Whatever activity you are doing whatsoever, all the time have that witness feeling and understand that the senses are involving in their sense objects, karma indriyas and gnanendriyas, the motor organs and the sensory organs are all working to perform the action, but I am the seer, I am the witness, maintaining that inner awareness, inner joy, inner relaxation, inner poise, do the activities. That is the whole trick of karma yoga. So in secret number 1, Krishna said that we have to recognize that silence innately built into action. But in the second secret he says, not only you should recognize, all the time be in that silence and do the activities, and that is the inner awareness and outside activity. And there is a wonderful book called Mankutimana Kagga, The Ramblings of a Dullard. The dullard is called Timma, written by one of the famous accomplished poets of Karnataka called D.V. Gundappa, and in his beautiful book Mankutimana Kagga, he says that make 2 compartments in the mind, the outer compartment and the inner one. In the inner compartment, maintain the deep silence, and in the outer, do any activity. This is how it runs. ಎರಡು ಕೋಣೆಗಳನಿ ಮಾಡು ಮನದಾಲಯದಿ ವಿರಮಿಸೊಬ್ಬನೆ ಮೌನದೋಳ್ ಒಳಮನೆಯ ಶಾಂತಿಯಲಿ ಹೊರಕೋಣೆಯಲಿ ಲೋಗರಾಟಗಳ ನೀನಾಡು ವರಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರವಿದು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. All the time in that inner silence, inner compartment, in the subtler layers of the mind, outside do any activity, and that is the secret, he says. All of us are aware of these two layers of the mind. We are sitting in a class or you are doing some activity, you are involved in your day-to-day activity, but inside, deep in your heart of hearts, there is something bugging in you, the agony that your child is suffering, or your love for your beloved, or something is worrying you, I have invested so much of money, what is going to happen to the share market? In one way or other, your inner layer of the mind is preoccupied with a bugging worry or an intense activity, but outside you may be doing the activity. We are all familiar with this two-layered action, the inner layer and the outer layer. Sometimes outside we may be closing our eyes and sit in meditation, but inside layer of the mind is continuously in activity and thinking and worrying. And what is the secret now? Karma Yoga says, it is the inner thing that we have to cleanse. It is the inner layer that we have to make it silent and let activities go on outside. And that is the secret that he is giving. By doing so, we will be able to resolve many, many conflicts. Now, let us look at the conflict that arose in the minds of Arjuna, a deep conflict between duty versus ethics, and Arjuna was cut asunder whether I should just follow mechanically the duty and cut all these people, or should I follow the humanitarian consideration, the ethics, and show love and compassion, sacrifice, renunciation, and let me go back, let all the people here, the Duryodhana, enjoy the comforts, let me be a person with humanitarian consideration. Now the question is, how are we going to resolve this conflict? We have understood now that ethics comes under the level of sattva, and after that starts the karma yoga, the duty sense. Now we go beyond the ethics and duty into the regions of gunathita, featured by akarma, featured by the causal state of all karma, transcendence, going beyond the gunas, guna athita sthiti, that is the region of gunathita. Therefore, the duty is higher than the ethics or the sattva, and the gunathita sthiti is beyond the guna, and therefore, when there is a conflict between one guna and another guna, one duty and another ethics, we have to go beyond them to the regions of gunathita, that is the akarma sthiti, and that is the solution that gives. And therefore, we understand that dharma is featured by dana, daya and dhamma, and that is the region of sattva. But when the conflicts arise, you have to go to the higher level of dharma. What is the new definition of this higher level of dharma? The definition is put this way: dharma is that which leads us to silence. Go to the very foundations of dharma, that is silence. Therefore, the new dimension, new definition of dharma is that all such actions which are performed in silence, or all actions that are performed which leads us to that silence, that state of transcendence, is dharma. Therefore, when there is a conflict, it is the higher that has to be emphasized, it is the action that has to be put forth at the higher level. Then comes the next secret: karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayukta krutsna karmakrit, says. What is this? One who sees non-action in action, secret number 2 already we have seen. One who sees all the time inner silence while doing activity, And the next secret, who sees action in non-action, he is the wise person, and he is the accomplished, he is the one who transcends karma. And that is the most difficult verse to be understood in Bhagavad Gita, in which he is enunciating secrets 2 and 3. What are these things? Let us try to understand. In the first secret, Krishna said, akarma is knit with karma. We have to understand karma. In the second secret, he said, all the time be in that silence and do the activities. That is, see akarma in every karma that you do. Karmani akarma, he said. Now, he is going to the next level, that is, to see the karma in akarma. How can you see this? It is the most intricate verse and almost paradoxical. In Bhagavad Gita, such paradoxical verses are in abundance, and therefore one of the critical, logically minded person in England wrote a book. This Bhagavad Gita talks about such nonsense. It talks about one thing in the first sentence and exactly opposes that in the second, and therefore is a bundle of nonsense. How can non-action and action be together? Seeing action in non-action, seeing non-action in action, how is it ever possible? Action and non-action are two separate things. Either you are doing activity or you are not doing activity. And is it not illogical to say that one who sees non-action in action and one who sees action in non-action is the wise? Therefore, he concluded that this bundle of nonsense has to be thrown. Bhagavad Gita is a useless book. Somebody rebutting this, they said, it is precisely because of these paradoxical verses, it is precisely because of this special type of verses that Bhagavad Gita has become great. Otherwise, it would have been very, very ordinary. It would have been at the level of ethics and morality, telling all these things that is very good and wonderful. And it is to bring in the higher dimension of gunatita sthiti that this is being done. And karmani akarma, non-action in action, is what we have been seeing. I remember a very interesting incident that happened in Kanyakumari. It was in 1983. The new railway station was inaugurated in Kanyakumari, and there was a railway track that was laid between Kanyakumari and Nagarkoil, until where already the trains were running, and there were big caves and tunnels through which the train would be going, and it was a wonderful marvel of engineering. And on that day, there was the inauguration by the railway minister, and there was a big gathering, and everybody had the big applause for the beautiful work that has been done by the PWD. And that day the minister announced a free run between Kanyakumari and Nagarkoil. He said anybody can move from here to there to here, totally free of cost for the whole day. And people went from here to there, sat all through. There were villagers who had never seen and travelled in a train. That was the backward area there in the deep interior villages of Tamil Nadu, southernmost corner of India. And I remember we also went in the train to see that marvel of the engineering, the tunnels. And then by our side was sitting number of villagers. As the train started running, then he was looking at the windows, and with great amazement, in a few minutes he started shouting, screaming with joy, says, hey, look here, something wonderful is happening. Everybody started looking at him. How is it that all trees have started running? Every tree is running and running. Actually, we were also seeing, our eyes also were recording that the trees were moving. But he said that trees are moving, but all the people know that trees are not moving. This is seeing non-action in action. That means the trees appear to be moving, but trees are not moving. In the apparent movement of trees, a wise man realizes there is stationariness, and it is seeing non-action in action. Similarly, for a long time we thought the sun is rising in the east and merging in the west. It moves and moves, and it is much later that we understood that sun is stationary and it is not moving, it is the earth that is moving. Therefore, an ordinary novice understands the movement of the sun. As a scientist, we also look at the sun. Our eyes also record the sun coming from the east in the morning, beautiful sunrise, and setting in the west every day. But still we understand it is not the sun that is moving, it is the earth that is rotating. Therefore, we see the sun moving. This is seeing non-action of the sun, stationariness of the sun, akarma of the sun in the apparent movement of the sun. That is seeing non-action in action. And now applying this to our own thinking, we all are thinking with a mind, with the chitta vrittis, there is continuous thinking going on, and all of us are continuously in that stream of thinking. But a wise man, an accomplished karma yogi, what does he know? He knows that we are not moving, we are witnesses, and the mind is moving. There is a witness at the back, there is an eternal principle within us, a deep silence, a sakshi inside, and the mind operates. There is thinking going on, the activity going on, and at the backdrop there is silence, there is akarma. This is seeing akarma in karma, karmani, in action, akarma, seeing non-action. That is the difference between the wise and the novice. That is all the time in that silence, seeing the action going on here, going on here. That is the secret that we saw. Section 3 gives us the third secret. Third secret is to see the action in all non-action. Akarmani means in non-action, in silence, to see karma, to see action. How is it ever possible to see action in non-action? Let us take some examples. The top. As children, we all have played top, and when the tap is swirling around on the floor, a child looks at it and goes there and tries to catch it. When it tries to catch it, what is its implication? It thinks that it is a stationary object like a pen as we go and catch it. So, it really sees non-action in the swirl of the top. But all of us know the top is in a dynamic balance. It is swirling with speed. It is not stationary. That is the difference between a novice and a wise. A novice thinks that it is stationary. A wise man understands that there is action. Second example, atoms, matter. We all thought until very recently, a few decades back, that it is all inert matter. This is stationary. But now we all understand that the science has advanced, that there is tremendous activity in the so called inert matter. There are the electrons swirling round the nucleus with speeds nearing the velocity of light. Such immense energy is packed into so called inert matter. That is the difference between the wise and the novice. A novice thinks that this inert matter is inert, stationary, it is in akarma, it is non-action, it is not acting, it is not moving. But we understand that there is immense movement, tremendous action in non-action. Now, the third example. The sleep. Every day we go into deep sleep, and when I say sleep, it is sleep without dreams, called sushupti. And in this, you are not thinking, and a normal person thinks that there is no activity. But today all the brain researchers understand that there is great activity going on in the brain, and the people in yoga and the Vedanta understands that the whole thing is frozen into its seed form, and Nidra is not total silence, it is no non-action, there is all the action gone into the potential form. It is the Avyakta phase, unmanifest phase, that is in the seed form. Bija Nidrayata Pragnaha. This Pragna, the Sushupti phase, is in the form of a seed. All our samskaras, all our tendencies, all our personality traits are all in the seed form. Just like a mango seed has all the imprints of the shape of the tree, the height of the tree, the type of the leaves, and the type of fruits that is going to bear in future. Everything is imprinted in such micro miniaturization. In the same way, in the deep sleep, all our personality traits and tendencies are all in the potential form, and therefore it is great activity inside, the frozen activity inside, and therefore sleep is not silence, sleep is not non-action, as we understand. This is seeing action in the so-called non-action. If you understand this, then we understand the subtleties of what Krishna is talking. We have a huge underwater world, this is the ocean. The surface may become silent, the waves on the ocean may be becoming calm, but inside the ocean there is a new world altogether. In the beginning we did not realize that. We thought a calm ocean is a calm ocean, but as we started diving deep into the ocean, professional divers started photographing, the National Geographic bring out such fascinating life underwater. We know that there is a world probably more fascinating than the world on the earth. In the same way, in the region of non-action, in the region of the Avyakta, in the region where the mind has not yet manifested, there is a great world, and that world is full of stagnations, blocks, knots, obsessions. They are called as chakras. In the Kundalini language, strong likes and dislikes, the raga and dvesha, everything hidden deep inside, like a volcano. Outside it may not be with fire, but you don't know when it is going to erupt. We know that it is an active volcano. Inside there is burning and the turmoil going on. Any day it may just burst out, and there could be the lava flowing out of the volcano. Therefore, just because it is silent now, we cannot think that it is all in silence, nothing is going to happen. Some people belong to this category. They look very calm, very quiet, but inside there is a big turmoil, a volcanic eruption is going on inside, and when a crucial situation comes, they all burst out. Therefore, a state of silence in that general sense does not mean that we have reached that non-action, and there could be a huge world of underwater existence. So when we understand this, the Karma Yogi starts tracking down these Avyakta, the unseen action in the non-action regions, and they go on purifying this, removing the tamas there, channelizing the rajas, promoting the sattva deep inside by the well accomplished methodology of stimulation and relaxation. Stimulate, relax, stimulate, relax. Sakashayam vijaniyat. The Mandukya Karika says, please understand that there is the deep-rooted stresses which can be removed by the process of stimulation and relaxation. So karma is a stimulation, relaxation following karma. Karma, akarma, karma, akarma, go on doing it. That is the compression and the relaxation. systole and the diastole of the heart. In the same way, go on doing it, removing all that muck accumulated inside, all that samskaras and vasanas which are impinged inside, all that have to be purified, and that is the implication of what he is telling. And this leads us to the understanding of the karma, understanding of the karma siddhanta, the philosophy of karma, which is the one that we are going to understand in the next session. So far we have therefore understood 3 secrets. Secret number 1, to understand that there is non-action knit into action. Secret number 2, to work in tune with that non-action, yogastaha kuru karmani, maintaining that inner awareness, inner equipoise, inner relaxation. And in secret number 3, we understand that there is inner action deep down in the so called non-action, and we have to purify that by systematically understanding the secrets of karma and removing the samskaras to understand how the samskaras are formed, and that is what we are going to see in the next session. Thank you very much.